Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about the problem is with man's hiddiness or hidiness towards God, not vice versa. This is actually an article written by Del Potter here. He's part of Reason for Truth, MAA, went through the master's program in apologetics. Same school, Southern Evangelical Seminary. He wrote this August 16th, 2025. So he asked the question, why doesn't God make his existence unmistakably clear to everyone? That's a question we're going to answer, so buckle up. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to Reason for Truth. I'm your host, Stephen Garofalo. Truth comes first, and then we give you all the reasons. We said, but we're always constantly learning, right? We stop learning, stop teaching, or at least stop teaching well. You always teach. You may just be missing some pieces there. We don't want to do that. So let's just jump right in. Dell writes that one of the most common objections to the faith, Christian faith, is God real? Why doesn't he just show himself beyond all doubt? Skeptics ask the question, why doesn't you just write his name in the sky or make his presence undeniable? But Scripture, reason, and his earliest witness of the church tell us a different story. God has already made himself known, yet it's his humanity, in and of itself that hides that truth. God's self-revelation is found in creation, and Scripture constantly teaches that God's fingerprints are everywhere. The Apostle Paul writes this, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse." That's strong, without excuse. Romans 1:20. Psalm 19:1 echoes this truth. It says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands." Job, remember the book of Job, he reminds us that creation itself, beasts, birds, earth included, and the sea, all testify to God, the great God, as creator. That's what he writes. "But ask the beasts, and they will teach you, and the birds of the heavens, and they will tell you, or the bushes of the earth, and they will teach you, and the fishes of the sea will declare to you. Who among these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every living thing and the breath of all mankind." It's Job chapter 12, verses 7 to 10. What it's saying is there's no way you could look at this earth and say, well, this just accidentally fell in place. Sun's in its exact place, same size, just the right distance. Moon's the same size, just has to be perfectly distant and the same size. But very rare to be that distant and be the size. It's a big moon. Most moons are very small. That's what keeps all our tides from overflowing. Gives us 24-hour day. So many what we call anthropic principles. It's crazy, to say they're by accident. Look at the creation of human being, of a man, and then look creation of a woman, and they come together and make another human being. Crazy, which could be another man or woman, okay, female or male. Dell goes on to say God's existence then is not hidden. It is written into the very structure of reality. St. Athanasius later argued creation itself acts as a universal witness, speaking of God's power to every culture and language without need for words. So why does God seem hidden? The real issue is not divine silence, but human resistance, what Dell says. Moses records God saying, "I will surely hide my face in that day because of all the evil which they shall have wrought, and that they are turned unto other gods." Deuteronomy 31:18. See, we bring it on ourselves. This is not a statement about God's being unknowable, but about mankind's turning its back on him. God's hiddiness or hidiness is a moral, relational reality, not an intellectual one, by the way. As Isaiah writes, "Your iniquities have made a separation between you and your God." Your iniquities, not his or anybody else's. Your iniquities have made a separation between you and your God. Isaiah 59:2. Every Christian's echoed this. Justin Martyr argued that those who live according to reason, that's logos, recognize true God through creation and conscience. Clement of Alexandria explained the ignorance of God is not due to his absence, but due to the blindness of the soul enslaved in passions, right? Our human passions. Listen, the attributes of God are revealed according to his nature, his justice, his love, his infinitude, his omniscience, his omnipotence. If God were to force belief by overwhelming proof, he would violate the very nature of his faith and love. Love cannot be compelled. It requires freedom. Blaise Pascal later captured this well, saying, "There is enough light for those who desire to see, and enough darkness for those who do not." The early church understood that God provides evidence sufficient for faith, but not coercion. Origen taught that God gives signs to those who are willing to see, but hides from those who shut their eyes. That's what he says. This allows space for genuine seeking, humility and love, free choice, rather than forced acknowledgement. God is not hidden. It's we are, folks. So when people ask, why doesn't God make himself clear? The biblical answer is he already has. The problem is not with God's silence, but with our ears. We don't hear, spiritually speaking. The witness of creation, conscious, scripture, and Christ himself leaves us without excuse if we reject him. And it's not God who hides, but man who hides from God, just as Adam and Eve once hid in the garden, right? And yet then God sought them, calling out, "Where are you?" God knew who they were, where they were. Genesis 3:9. But he wanted to see what they'd say. The same, they tried to hide. It's the bottom line. The same God still calls today, right? Through the beauty of creation, through the testimony of Scripture and the living Christ. The question is not whether God is clear enough, but whether we are willing to see him more clearly. Like 1 Corinthians, Dale writes, 13:12, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I will know fully, just as I also have been fully known." Fully known by God. God knows us better than we know ourselves. So there you go. Words from Dell. Dell, wonderful, wonderful article. You could, by the way, find this exact transcript a couple different ways. Mainly, go to the community sign up, StephenGarofalo.com. There's no charge for that. You can join and get all the resources there except for the podcast. If you want, that's $5 a month. You get that early 1 to 3 days. But this article, this entire transcript is put up there along with the other articles. You want to check that out. You could also get them, you probably got on the website at reasonfortruth.org. But you definitely, I think, the community, StephenGarofalo.com, that's where you're going to get everything front and center. That's my recommendation for you. So God's blessings to you. Make sure we take this all in, think about it, going a little deeper. That's fine. We don't need to go, at half an inch thick, a half an inch deep here all the time. We need to make sure that we're learning theologically, biblically, scripturally, apologetically, even a little philosophically. So do that. Subscribe to this channel. We'll see you at the next episode. I'm your host, Stephen Garofalo. And you know what I say? This is your Reason for Truth for today.